Like, we really explore how patriarchy affects men and women in the world of, like, the crime world. That's something that I wasn't expecting. Sophia is, like, she's someone that I've always wanted to see for, like, a while. Like, this is a villain that knows how to challenge protagonists. Mm-hmm. If this was a male character, say, like, Alberto, would the show be just as interesting as this? Because I don't think we would have that moment at all. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast, the podcast where we commit crimes, but in a feminist way. My name's Alvin.
I'm Jess.
And today we're going to be talking about The Penguin, and we're going to be playing a bit of catch-up. We're going to do a little brief discussion on the last 5 episodes, and then do a little deep dive on episode 6, because we're a little late to the party, and we trying to join the party with y'all. Like, I honestly was sleeping on this show. Once I started catching up and got to, like, by episode 3, I was completely hooked. I was like, wait, this is, like, great. Mm-hmm. And I think I had, like, a bias that I didn't realize was, like, doing a TV show based off of a big movie. Like, I just thought of Disney Plus and how disappointed I've been with, like, most of their output. So I was just like, I don't know, do I want to watch a show based on, like, this big IP? And then, sure enough, I was like, all right, this is actually, like, quality television. So this show picks up right after the movie, basically, where we follow Penguin just basically going for a power grab. Like, he's just really taking any opportunity that he can to, like, move up in the economic ladder. And it's so fascinating to see this dude just, like, double cross and just fuck over anyone and everyone that he can just take advantage of.
I just don't know how he's still walking around. Like, nobody's gone after him. Like, are you guys trying? Because, like,
I mean, apparently they are. It's just taking a while.
Yeah, but, like, the things he's doing, like the strings he's pulling, like,
yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm enjoying it. And when we were watching, I was catching up, and I think I was on the 5th one, and then we were getting ready to watch 6. I was like, I don't think I want to finish this tonight. I was like, I'll watch it later. And then I was like, let me just see what they're doing, though, real quick.
You didn't even say anything. You just proceeded to click the next button. Like, she literally said, I think I'm done for tonight. And she just clicks the remote and clicks on next episode. And I just stayed quiet. I was like,
I know. I don't know, because I, like, the last episode left off in a good spot, and then I was just like, let me just see what they're gonna do real quick. Yeah. And then it just turned into the rest of the catching up, and I was like, okay. Penguin's, like, entertaining but just gross. Like,
dude is dastardly.
He's such a terrible person.
Yeah,
like,
they don't. The show does not shy away from it.
Yeah, he's a terrible person. And I can't look away. Like, I can't stop watching. And I'm just like, everyone that he ropes in, poor little Victor and his little traumatized self, and betraying Sophia, and then, like, lying here to what is it, from the Falcones, and then what's the other one?
Maroney.
The Maronis.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, he's just playing both sides, and it's nothing to him. He's getting people killed, getting the young kids killed, and I'm
nearly
just like,
getting killed himself.
That too.
Multiple times.
But he always talks his way out of something, or something happens and he manages to get out of there. But I'm really enjoying it. I didn't think I was gonna really care. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever really been into, like, crime mob, like, dramas.
Me
like,
neither.
Full disclosure, guys, and don't kill me, but I've never watched The Sopranos. I've never even watched The Godfather. I know it's sacrilegious for cinephiles to say that shit, but it's not because I'm not interested. It's just,
well, it sounds like you're not interested.
Well, it's just because it's in the back of my mind, but I just never think, ooh, let me watch it.
Yeah,
it's like I'm slightly interested, but I think this show might be my gateway drug back to those movies and shows.
We'll see you.
Yes.
Have fun.
But I'm really just completely fixated and transfixed on Oz and Vic's relationship throughout the whole series. Like, I think the showrunner really did a smart move of, like, focusing Penguin getting his clutches on, like, a kid. Just this helpless kid that got affected by this flood. He has nothing. He has no family, no friends to go to, really. I mean, he had one, just let that go. And then just seeing the transformation of this innocent child quickly becoming just like another background criminal in Gotham. The level of grooming that we see is like, it's so manipulative, and it's so like, it plays with your emotions. Like, you sometimes feel genuine care for these two because they have like conversations with each other where like they're genuinely like venting to each other about their issues and struggles with capitalism and how they can't make it up in the world with like honest, decent work. But then at the same time, you see that Oz is just using this guy and just emotionally manipulating him and guilting him into staying in this world.
But he's also attached to Vic as well too.
There's like, that added layer where Oz is very much attached to this kid, because when Vic makes the decision to initially leave in episode 3, there's a scene of Oz at the bar at the club where they're doing the big deal with the die low. You see him just like quietly, silently, just taking a drink and just like looking off and just feeling, looks like he was genuinely hurt.
It made me think of Narcos with Escobar sitting there just waiting and looking all sad and lonely.
The meme,
the meme. That's what I felt, and it's annoying because like you said, he's just like, basically it's like grooming him, and it's like, it's just a bad like relationship and dynamic for this kid. But I was feeling like a little sad. I was like, oh, but no,
but then it's like, this away. Is vile,
this is bad. And I had like very mixed feelings about it, but it pulled on the heartstrings a bit. I was like, damn. I was like, you know, I know he's growing on him, like, you know, like, but I also was just like, this is no life for this kid. And when we find out more about, like, you know, Vic's background and like what happened to his family and how he's like completely alone, I just feel like, damn, I was like, he's really taking advantage of this kid. And then I was like, this kid's gonna continue to make bad decisions like for Oz, just because he doesn't have anywhere else to go. And even in before his family died, you know, he was still like, he wants to make it, you know, in this world.
Yeah, he's like in love with Gotham City, though. Yes. He like wants to make it up, but in Gotham.
So I was like, did that mean like he would do like that stuff even if his family was around still? Would he have gotten wrapped up somehow if it wasn't with Oz? But, you know, I'm like, what did he mean by that? But yeah, he did. Like, he loves Gotham. Yeah. And I was just like, his girlfriend was just like, yeah, no. No.
Yeah. Yeah, so seeing that relationship evolve and transform and leading up to episode 6 has been a wild journey. Like, they really utilize all the time that they have in this 8-episode series. And it's one of the best character studies that I've seen in a while with, you know, with Vic and Oz. And then Sophia as well. I never expected to, like, I'm basically in love with Sophia. Like, she's like the toxic girlfriend that I have on, like, in television. Because it's like, damn, I feel for this woman. Like, she deals with like a lot of shit from her family, and I did not expect to like actually explore this character through like a feminist lens. Like, we really explore how patriarchy affects men and women in the world of like the crime world. That's something that I wasn't expecting, and seeing Sophia kind of break down and restructure her idea of what a gang could be and what a family could be, and trying to like equalize that and trying to make it seem like everybody's on equal footing in terms of like money and how you're treated, and just seeing her struggle with that was like something I completely unexpected. And she's probably the most fascinating character to me so far in the show. Everybody's like super interesting and entertaining to watch, but Sophia, she's just, because the show makes you think like, oh, she's like this demented person, you know, she's had these mental issues for a while.
When I got to that episode on why she is the way that she is,
episode 4 broke the shit out of me. That was insane.
I was just like, I was like, her dad did this. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
yep,
what?
She got fucked over by her own father, dude.
And I was like, why is she like so? Like, I get it. Like, it's her brother. What is his name? Alberto. Like, at the beginning, I was just like, she's going so hard. She wants to know who killed him. She wants to know. She's like, everybody else in the family is just like, whatever, you know, whatever. But she wants to know, and it's just eating away at her. And then when we get to the episode of like how she ended up in Arkham, how she's framed from the murder of like what, seven women and a reporter who was reporting on those 7 women who were killed. I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, this, like, she had no one except her brother, but he was like basically useless. He couldn't do much for her because his dad's pulling all the strings. Like,
yeah, and to see that her brother was genuinely trying to get her out, and he just couldn't do anything. Just like he was the only real genuine connection that she's had since losing her mother, who was fucking murdered by her dad.
Yeah,
like that's what makes her so compelling. Is she doesn't just have like this sympathy for these 7 victims. It ties back to her personally because she was always been suspicious of her mom's death.
Yeah.
And then to find out that she was also strangled by her father, and then she took the blame and then was shoved in that jail or like that mental asylum for 10 years.
10 years. I know. I was just like,
that's
when
insane.
I found out it was 10 years, I was just like, wait. I was like, she was in there for 10 years? Like,
she's surprisingly lucid and still fairly sane.
After what? They did like shock therapy to her. Like,
that was just after like 6 months.
Yes.
That was just 6 months.
And just seeing her, like, I felt so bad. I was just like, please don't break her. Please don't. Like, she's like broken in some places, but she's like, now that she's out, like, she has like an agenda. She knows what she wants and what she's gonna do. But like, you could just still see like the trauma. And like, every time, like, now that I look at her after that episode, like, I'm just rooting for her, like so hard. Like, I'm like, you need to just get everything. You deserve everything. Because I still can't wrap my head around the fact that her dad framed her for this. And that it was like Oz's fault because he went and snitched
about
and said,
her meeting with the TV reporter.
I'm like, all she did was talk with her. And that's about it. But I mean, I guess she's technically digging, and that's what her dad doesn't want. Yeah. But I was not expecting, like, next thing you know, they're pulling up on her and Oz in the car, telling her, get out. Oh, you're arrested. And I was just like, wait, what? Yeah. Like, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Everyone paid off, probably even her lawyer to that point, because she's like, yeah, you're going to have to go away for 6 months. This is the best I can do. I'm just like, you guys, like, what? She practically, her family, like, runs this. Like, what do you mean 6 months? Then her brother's just like, oh, yeah, so it's not going to go to trial or something? Or, you just, it's done? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, you came here to tell me this, brother. You better come to break me out. Like, since you know this, you breaking out. Tell me the plan. Yeah. So seeing Sophia's backstory and unraveling how much Oz fucked her over, and then how he fucked her over again, current day period, where it's revealed that he's been working with Maroney like the whole time while working with the Falcones as well. Yep. Like, this dude, Sony, take lessons from this, please. This is how you do a villain story. Like, this dude is a scumbag. He's not no anti-hero. He's not no secret, sympathetic, super good guy that's doing questionable things. He's a villain. Like, just do villain stories. Do villain stories. Yes. The fact that it's gotten so far that now Sophia and Sal Maroney are working together and trying to go after Oz. Like, they've both lost monumental things because of Oz. Like, that episode 5, in my mind, the episode is called "You're Cooked." Oh my god! Oh my god! That scene where Sal goes, "You are cooked." I was just like, oh. I was like, wait, buddy, come on! Why you choose those words? Funny you mentioned that. I was like, you are disrespectful, sir. Like, you just. I shouldn't be laughing, but it's funny. It's not funny. Oz is a villain, dude. He said, that's funny. Call your wife. See if she answers. That's so bad. Oh my gosh. I was really wondering. Dude, and the way he watched Sal's wife and son burn, like, he was enjoying that shit. He was just like. It was gross. Like, it was my God. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie. I did chuckle, but it was out of fascination, not because these are criminals going after criminals. Like, these are vile people going against each other. So it's a little easier to distance yourself emotionally. But even then, like, damn, this dude is enjoying, like, taking these people down, just, like, actually killing them. Yeah. And seeing himself get one step closer to getting more power because of it. Like, this dude he does not hold back. And I love that the showrunners they dedicate themselves to that. Like, these are Gotham's finest in terms of criminals. Like, they gotta be cutthroat. There's a reason why a rich white man's going nuts trying to beat these people up at night. So so let's talk about this latest episode 6. We see there's like a little bit of a time jump
It's hard to tell because they did this brilliant thing where all they do is just they show snow falling, and my brain was just like, oh damn, what month is it now?
Yeah,
because I remember like in the Batman movie, it's around like Halloween time is when the movie takes place, and it seems like this movie is between like November and December, so it looks like maybe a couple days or a couple weeks has passed, and we see that Oz is just like already operating this huge drug ring with like Bliss, the mushrooms.
Yeah.
And Sophia and Sal, they're still hunting down Oz, but for some reason, they're just now getting to his apartment, trying to dig up some dirt on like who his weaknesses could be.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused at the order of timelines here. I'm like, okay, it takes a bit of a while to get an operation ring going on in the ghettos here. That takes like maybe weeks or month or something. And then when that's operating, that's when we finally see them going into the apartment, trying to dig up like who they could use to like interrogate and find info.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that was like a brain fart in them.
Because they already knew where he lived. Sophia was at his place before.
You feel like it would be like the first place they would check while he's on the run.
I'm like, you probably, if you don't go there directly, you probably have surveillance, like people tailing or something like that.
Yeah.
But
I thought that was like a funny timeline thing.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, I guess, unless they couldn't get in, because his place kind of looks vaulted sometimes, like extra like locked up with like some doors that he has. So I was like, maybe that's why. But I was like, y'all could just blow up the whole building or something. Like, I don't know. Like, you've done worse. Like,
you gotta find the evidence.
You
don't want to kill the evidence and be like, all right, now we can't figure out who his weaknesses are.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah, and I love seeing Sal just completely lose his shit when they realize there's really no family photos or anything that they could use. It's like, this motherfucker's got nobody. He takes everybody away from me, and I've got nobody. And then Sophia just goes, practice your swing. Yeah. Gives her a golf club, and then you just see him go nuts in one room, and you see Sophia just methodically and calmly going into the next room, just trying to find something.
Yeah.
And I love like the comparison of these two powerful foes just going about this very differently, where men tend to have like this huge outlet of anger when there's frustration and they can't do anything about it. And you have this woman here who is, she's still trying to look for answers. She's still like just very dedicated. And that was like a very subtle moment of building upon like this whole feminist lens that they've been framing Sophia. Like everything that she does as a crime boss is very slightly different compared to what like a male, like her brother would not be this methodical, this patient.
I mean, look at how her brother did die because Oz just couldn't take someone laughing at him. Yeah. And then it was just, he started this whole shit because the guy was, he was high too. Like he was on drugs. He was
high and he was drunk.
And I'm just like, you, come on.
He was going to be the next leader of the Falcons. Like that's crazy. They were going to put that guy above Sophia. But I mean, we found out why, because the whole family put her in jail. So but still, like, that's insane. So seeing that little moment between Sal and Sophia and how they process frustration, I thought that was like a really brilliant little moment. And I don't know if like a lot of people noticed that, but that's something that like jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Which again just builds on like how cool this fucking character is. Like I low key would like work for her if I was in this world, but also no, I wouldn't, because that's guaranteed death.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how to feel about this relationship with Sophia and Julian Rush, like her doctor that she met in Arkham.
I hate his face so much.
He's got like this conniving look in his face, and I still don't. Nothing against the actor. He's brilliant, because the fact that you can make me hate you in two different properties, because I first saw him in Luke Cage. He played like a side villain in Luke Cage. And you would hate his guts too just by looking at him. He knows how to play a slimy motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what his face be doing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
he's like a weasel. He's just like, he's up to no good no matter what. I'm very curious to know what exactly he truly wants from her. It looks like he's like in love with her, but he doesn't even say it or really express it normally.
Because he doesn't look genuine at all. Like anytime when she was in Arkham and there were those moments where he felt bad, or he was like, maybe we shouldn't do this, or like if you need anything, like I felt like he was being like real, but it still just came off as like fake, like
he wants something.
And then I couldn't tell if Sophia was just losing her shit and he looked like he was like messing with her, but I was like, I think that's just his face.
It's just his face.
Yeah, I was like, I think
he
it's
can
just
never
his
look
face.
normal.
And I was just like, I don't like this guy. And then like, what's his agenda?
Because he basically says he wants to be a part of something. He says, I want to be a part of this with you, like in terms of like joining her gang. But it's like, I think there's still something else that you want from her.
Yeah.
And you're not outright saying it. And even she's called him out at certain points about it. And seeing them do like this weird BDSM moment in the bedroom, and it's just like, it looked like they finished having sex or something. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, what did you guys just finish doing? And then what is this dynamic that you guys have? Like, she's about to have dinner and you said that she just like, oh, you can leave now.
Yeah. What, you thought that he wasn't real?
Sometimes I think he's not real. Sometimes I think he's like a figment of like her imagination, because he normally never interacts with like anybody. But I think there have been like one or two moments where he's technically interacted with somebody besides her.
Yeah.
But he's like such an isolated character. And I feel like Arkham really fucked with Sophia mentally, it's like to some degree. I just don't feel like it's been revealed yet to like what degree. Because being in there for 10 years, like I don't know. I think something else is going on that maybe hasn't been revealed yet. And I don't know if it ties to Julian being like an imagination or not. But I'm just waiting for him to be important, because right now he's just like kind of annoying to see every time he goes on screen.
He can just go away.
I'm just like, leave this woman alone.
In her imagination.
Yeah. Okay, so one question I wanted to pose with you. Would you euthanize your mom, your dementia mom, if she asked you?
Like how?
It don't matter. Just tell me that you'll do it.
I need to know how. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
How did you feel about Oz and talking to his mom, and then seeing that his mom is actively asking him to like put her down when her mind finally goes?
Again, how? Like, how? Like,
it's not like you can like actually medically euthanize anybody right now. Like at Crown Point, you're in the ghetto right now.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, if it's like doctors and it's like legal, then we can get his mom a plane ticket and send her there. I don't know if they got that place in this world, maybe, but yeah, I was just like, I get it, because she be out of it, like really out of it.
She legit thinks
to.
Yeah,
and it's so sad when she's like, when she comes to, and she for her to have to say this. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just like, I don't think he could like really do it, because look at how he like in the previews, how he's losing his shit. And then when he does talk about his mom, he's just like, you know, if anything, like I need her. Like if anything happens to her, like I'm just gonna be like.
He said she's what keeps me good.
I'm like, what does that mean? Like what's?
I know, especially considering
you ain't good right now.
especially considering how their relationship is very just not. It's not the most loving. Like there's a bit of love there, but we see again. We're looking at this whole series through like a lens of like looking at how patriarchy affects people and how they turn to crime and stuff. Frances, Oz's mom, straight up just like endorses and encourages man to commit crimes, and who knows how long that's been going on, maybe since like adolescence or something.
She praises it, because like when he kills Alberto and like he like tells her, he's like, yeah, I killed him.
She gets excited whenever he gets a leg up in the crime world.
I thought she was gonna be like, are you stupid? You just killed the next in line for the. And I was, but she's just like, yes, we're gonna take it all and we're gonna be living big and great. And I was just like, lady, if they find out about you, you're done. And
then when she berates him and like completely emasculates him whenever he fails at a task or something, or he's like shorthanded on something, or she feels like she's not being taken care of the way that she wants to be taken care of, then that's when we see how like that's the internalized misogyny just like working right there. Like she's just another victim of a patriarchal system where it's like you just got to keep hustling, you got to keep making money no matter what, like whatever it takes, no matter who you screw over, keep getting more money and keep taking care of me, like financially. I want like the nicest rooms, nicest beds. Yeah. I want my freaking record player to work. I want the heat to work on. Like she's all about like
those are just basic needs.
I mean, at this point, that's all she can ask for at Crown Point. But she's really all about like utility. She's like that classic men need to be the providers, like be actually providing things so that I can survive and live comfortably. She really doesn't mother in the way that children need to be mothered, which is out of just pure love and just wanting to see the best for their kid. she only sees Oz as like a means to an end. She doesn't really see him as like a son that she genuinely loves, I think.
Yeah. No, I definitely, like, she gives the vibes where it's just like, oh, I brought you in this world, so you need to take care of me, like, and you know, like that sort of thing. I'm like, let's
and it just perfect
for that.
Yeah, and it perfectly explains how Oz ended up the way that he is. Like, like if you're raised that way, you're obviously gonna like internalize that and practice that shit. So I don't know, there were like moments I felt kind of bad for Oz, but it's also like, well, you're a vile criminal too. It's like, you're an adult, you can make choices.
Yeah, but you can feel bad and know that this is why he is the way that he is. Like, it explains some of it. Or like a good chunk of it, but yeah, it's kind of like hard to like see and like listen, because you see like his expression, like when she says like these like mean things to him when he fails, and you see him like kind of the wheels turning, like what can he do to like turn this around and like not have her saying that, to show her that he is that man and he's gonna take everything and have everything, and they're gonna be living all great, you know?
Yeah, so and I just love how that theme is just at the forefront since like episode 1. Like they're showing us reasons why these people end up in the place that they're in, why they make this decision to be criminals. There's like the systemic economic levels, and then it gets like the interpersonal, like social relations, and like they do it in a way that doesn't hit you over the head. Like, they're not being cringy about like, oh guys, it's patriarchy, it's capitalism. It's like they're doing it in a way that's direct, but not treating us like we're dumb, if that makes sense. So that's what I really appreciate about like this exploration with like Oz and his mom. And when she asked him like, please, will you kill me? I was just like, I don't know, lady, if it was me, that might be the easiest thing I could do, just because you're getting on my fucking nerves. I'm trying to do the best that I can with my criminal career, and you're not getting it. But yeah, to ask your son to do that, that's a heavy ass question. I mean, I would do it, but not like point blank. Like, I want to, like you said, I want to do it the medical route. It's like, but I don't know. Like,
she's talking.
Is Oz really going to end up popping his mom's brains or something? Like, that would be insane. I don't think he could ever do that.
Yeah.
Enough of the mom. She's stressing me. We got to talk about Vic and his very dark turn this episode.
Oh wow, yeah. What? Because it was because he was finding some place for him and Francis to hide out while Penguin was doing his stuff. He's just like, he told him like, take her somewhere, like no one's gonna find you. And he went back to his old hood, and while he was trying to get Francis like into the building, he sees Squid, who like, I guess that's like his area, his turf. Yeah. And he's like, don't let him see you. And she looked like, I thought she was gonna call and be like, hey, Mr. Squid, or something like that. But he almost gets her into the building, but Squid sees him. And that's a problem. He has something to worry about, because like Squid is the same bully that he's always been. I can't believe that I was like semi rooting for Vic to take this guy out, but also I was hoping Penguin would handle it, but Penguin's like very like, he's emotionally distant, that, and he's just like, you need to start like doing stuff, like you need to be that, like that man, you like need to take initiative, point things around. And I'm just like, I don't know what I want for Vic. That's like the beauty and the ugliness of this show, is we're in the crime underbelly. We're in the world where people feel like they have no other options and no outs other than just committing crimes, and how to best get away with it and how to best manage that while you continue like with your like business. Because I don't know what I'm rooting for, like, because like if I root for like someone like Vic or Sophia, it's just so they can do like more crime, like do more crimes. Yeah, like, don't you like feel like I'm conflicted as fuck? Yeah, especially when it comes to Vic, because I wanted that motherfucker to get on the bus in episode 3. Yes, I thought he was stupid for that, but it makes sense. Like, first of all, he's not going to just disappear in this series, but also he's a teenager. And they've established he has this attachment to Gotham for whatever reason. And Oz talked a good talk to him, and he's been flashing money at him and giving him like money and stuff,
and kind of guilting him. I'm like, what are you gonna have if you leave?
Because it's funny, he was just like, oh, what, you thought the whole time like basically this gun was to your head, like you were, you know, like like you were held hostage, like this is what you thought was going on, and then like he has like the gun to his head, and I was just like, well, yeah, I thought that, like that's what I felt, and I'm like, I feel like it really was that. It was that for the longest. And then I was just like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't. And then I felt like how Vic was probably feeling, where he's just like, what? He's like, oh, shoot. I was like, I really messed up. I hurt his feelings. Like, maybe he was fine with me leaving. And I was like, this is what he's working me too. I was just like, you got me. Because like, I was like, I understood what Vic was feeling, so conflicted. Like, oh, shoot. Like, can I go at any time? Why did I stay? Why am I staying? Should I stay? And you could just see the conflict just going through him. Like, it was just like, oh man. Yeah.
And when he killed Squid, after he was constantly being harassed by this dude of like, yo, let me join your gang, and it's just like, dude, nope, we're not taking new people. And the fact that he made that just gut instinct to just turn around and pop Squid, because he would have been a threat to him and the operation. And seeing his remorse and his like disgust with himself, and just like oh my god, the scene where he's like reaching out to him and saying, I'm sorry, and it's just like, oh man, you are not made for this. Like, this is not your world, man. I don't know how he's gonna make it. It's either like he quits, or like he really does harden himself and just goes further and further the older he gets. It makes me question like how long he's really gonna be around, just because I feel like things are unpredictable with him. Like, he's still got like a genuine kindness to him that doesn't mix well with just the grittiness of being a criminal. I was celebrating when he popped Squid, because fuck Squid, he was annoying as shit.
Yeah,
but I was anguishing at the same time, seeing Vic react that way and seeing how he went to Oz for emotional comfort, and he doesn't really get that. I mean, he gets like a hug, but it's like Oz really kills the mood when he goes, it gets easier.
Yeah.
It gets easier. I'm just like, don't tell them.
I know. I was like, it was like kind of like a sweet moment, but yeah, then he says that, and I was just like, oh man. I'm like, I guess he has to. Eventually
he has to, because he's trying to keep him in line. He's trying to keep him in this line of work, and you can't have sympathy. You can't have compassion in this kind of world.
Yeah. Because this is, well, I don't know if it's technically his second body, but when he went to
It is his second body.
Okay, so that guy did die. I thought he just like, he got fucked up.
I assume he died. That's it's very, I mean, maybe he made it, but
yeah, he was still moving, and maybe someone else killed him or whatever. But I'm like, that was the intent, to kill, like ramming someone with your car. Yeah, and I was just like, that one felt a little bit different, but it was still like, oh, you about to get in there. But when he pulls the gun on Squid and shoots him, I was like, yeah, fuck you, Squid. And then I was just like,
but then like, no,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Your baby. Like, yeah, it was like really difficult to watch. Like I said, you're rooting for characters, but then like, what does that mean? I think it's just more bloodshed. It's just them becoming darker and getting more wrapped up in this world. And this is the Gotham that Vic loves. And I'm like, is this what he envisioned? Yeah. I was like, is this what he envisioned? Because then I'm like, I guess this is where he's supposed to be, or at least he thinks he's supposed to be. Yeah. I don't know if he just like kind of glamorized it when he was like younger. But yeah, it was difficult to watch. Like, very just mixed feelings of like, you got this, and then I was like, don't do this.
Seeing him try to clean off the blood off his shoe was just like the cherry on top. And just, you see that he's like in a dark, just sick place right now. And I'm curious to see where he moves forward now, having done something like that. I don't think this will be the last time he takes a life or makes a difficult decision. And I think it might get easier for him, sadly. Yeah. If he's choosing this life, because his one-way ticket was gone in episode 3. I don't think there'll be more chances for him to leave. I really don't think so.
Yeah, especially now that him and Francis were captured by Sophia, or she found them. But the way that ended, I'm kind of wondering, how's this going to go? Because in one of the earlier episodes, when Vic and Oz, how they first meet is because Vic and a group of his friends, they were trying to like take Oz's like wheels or rims for Squid, because they were working for Squid. And one of the friends that was there, Sophia killed him in an earlier episode, and it was just like nothing to her and nothing to Oz. So I'm just like, now that Vic has, I hate to say it, but some value to Oz, how is that going to go over? Because Oz just set Sal's family on fire. You know, he killed Alberto, and he's just been lying left and right, playing both these families. So it's just like, how is this really going to go for his family? And then how does Sophia even find where Vic and Francis are? It's because of Eve. Yeah, that was a good scene. What did you like?
Oh my god.
How are you feeling? Because I was nervous as shit.
Yeah, that was when we get to that scene where Sophia finds Eve and confronts her, because Eve is the only emotional weakness that Oz would have, so that she can squeeze information out of her. I like you, I was very nervous, and I was like kind of pissed off. I was like, Sophia, don't fucking do it, man. Just try to recruit her. I'm fine with if you do that, but don't kill this woman. This could go either way. I was just like biting my nails at this point. But I was really pleasantly surprised with how things turned around. Like, just first of all, I love how like the whole scene is just them talking, but they move in different parts of this small ass apartment that Eve is in, and the camera is really playing tricks with your mind. It's just like it moves whenever the characters move, and then you think like something's just gonna happen. Sophia's just like analyzing the room. It's just like, you live like this, bro? And it's just like, you wear these wigs all the time? Has Oz ever seen you in these sweats? Yeah. Like, the conversation that they had with each other was just like surprisingly earnest and honest, where Sophia's really just trying to figure out like, what is it about Oz that is like connecting with you after like all the shit that I've learned about this scumbag. Yeah. And then them slowly like coming to understanding with each other that they've both been fucked over by the same guy. It just blew my mind. And Sophia, again, she brings up like the 7 victims and how those were like friends of Eve's, and Eve is just like, I've always got their back. You know, I'll sacrifice myself and they'll sacrifice for me. And when Sophia hears that like really just turned for her. Like, she went from like ready to kill this woman after getting information to just being like, damn, you know what? I have to follow the code that I've set for myself. And this is something that I've always wanted, and I still don't have that. Sophia still doesn't have a family. Yeah. She has her new gang, but there's nobody there that she genuinely trusts, loves, has a bond with. And she genuinely admires that and respects that. And the fact that changes her mind. And she was about to not get information still. She was going to leave empty-handed. Yeah. And it was just like, and then when Eve turns around, it's just like, Crown Point. He's at Crown Point. Like, like, I know we both got fucked over, but Crown Point.
Yeah, I was like,
that was amazing.
I was like, yes. I was like, you spill the tea, please. Yeah. That was a really good moment, because Sophia doesn't have anything or anyone, and when she was looking for information, because she found, was it Eve's like Polaroid or something at Oz's place? That's how she knew to like go around and, you know, ask on the streets like, hey, do you know this? Where can I find this woman and stuff? And no one said anything. And then that one girl, I was just like, ain't Eve like your BFF? Like, isn't that your group? I was like, oh no. I was like, this freaking. But turns out Eve set that up. She's like, she knew that, you know, she would come looking for her because Oz is like, we need to leave. She's like, I'm not going anywhere. So I said, is she really gonna die? Like, she doesn't want to leave for Oz? Yeah. Or not even for him when she wanted to stay.
I mean, it would be for her girls, but
yeah, it was for her girls. It was definitely for her girls and for her. But I just was like, I hope she doesn't die. And when one of her girls like, oh yeah, I can help you, I was like, I was so pissed. But then when she starts explaining like, yeah, I told her to do that, just make sure you don't hurt them or anything like that, like you're here for me. And she was like ready, and I feel like Sophia noticed that, and like she saw that, and like she had like some respect for that as well too, because like you said, she doesn't have anyone, and to see like this woman, like she's willing to put her life on the line for her girls, like she has like a lot of respect for that. And they just, you see them coming to an understanding in that room, which I love so much. So when she said, oh yeah, you gonna find him here, I was just like, you gonna find him here.
Yeah, and man, I gotta give props to the showrunner, Lauren LaFranc. First of all, it took me a while to realize that there was like a female showrunner and a fairly significant amount of female writers in the show. Because when I was noticing like the feminist themes coming up, I was just like, I feel like this is not likely like a male-dominated project. Let me just look it up. And sure enough, there's a significant amount of women that are behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I've been watching some of the podcasts or like the behind-the-scenes stuff, and I'm just like, oh, they're interviewing a lot of women. This is interesting. The fact that that's noticeable is also a problem. Like, that should just be normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know, some guys are going to definitely get pissed out there just like hearing or seeing the fact that women are being credited and you know, these topics of patriarchy and misogyny are coming up in the show. But it's like, I don't know what to tell you, because these are all intrinsically tied to crime as well. Yeah. Like there's all these reasons why people turn to crime. Sophia is like, she's someone that I've always wanted to see for like a while. Like, this is a villain that knows how to like really be a threat, not just like physically, but like mentally and emotionally, knows how to challenge protagonists. And I just wonder, like, if this was a male character, like say like Alberto, would the show be just as interesting as this? Because a lesser criminal would have just popped Eve in the head after not getting the answers that they're looking for. Sophia was going to leave empty-handed, and she ended up getting rewarded with information anyways, because they just had a genuine conversation about Oz. So I don't know. I feel like if there was like a male like version of Sophia, I don't think we would have that moment at all.
No.
Usually male criminals in movies and even in real life, they just tend to just go with emotion. Just be like, all right, I'm not getting what I want, so fuck it, you're gone. Yeah. With Sophia, she's never like that. She's always, it's weird. It's like she's tactful, but then there's like a bit of sympathy as well, which makes it really just, it's weird. It's like, damn, it's making me sympathize with you, but you're vile because you're just flooding the streets with drugs to these poor, impoverished people. And I can't get behind that. That's like the only thing that gives me pause. Yeah. Is that her crime isn't like, it's something I can't get behind. If she was stealing from like politicians and shit, fine. I'm in support of that. I don't care. But you over here just like taking advantage of poor, impoverished people or like working class people by selling these drugs. Just like, if you weren't doing that, and if you're just like going after rich people, then you would have my full endorsement.
Sophia for president.
Yes. I just love, it's just so refreshing. It's so refreshing to see two characters come into conflict and then having that resolved in a conversation, and it doesn't end in like this bloody end, and somebody ends up actually gaining something. Sophia gets information, Eve gets to live another day. Yeah. And that gives her a chance to probably get the fuck out of here and get away from Oz, because he's a liability to her. There's I don't think there's any reality where Eve goes back to Oz.
I hope.
But yeah, no, shout out to women. Y'all are making this show way more interesting than it could have been if it was just like all dudes. No offense. But kind of offense. And then finally we end up with Oz basically uniting with a bunch of other gang leaders after like setting his drugs free and like basically threatening everyone's territories now, because Sophia's just gunning after anyone that has their hands on the shrooms. So he basically just like forms a union between like all the gang leaders. It's like, hey, guys, listen, like I know I'm a piece of shit, and you know my void ain't worth ain't shit. You can't trust a void out of my mouth, but we got to get together. We got to go after Sophia, the Maroney motherfucker, and all the rich motherfuckers that put us here in the first place. And let's crack a cold one with all the boys and girls. Let's go. Yeah. I thought that was so funny. But it was also fascinating to watch, because I'm like, this is the first time Oz actually has so much power now. Like, he's uniting with other gang leaders. That's the most men he's ever had. What do you think is going to happen next episode? I feel like this could be like an all-out war.
I think that's what's going to happen. Because
I don't think Sophia has that many men to handle that many gang leaders.
And I don't know what Sal has behind him either. Like, even just the two of them combined, but aren't they like the biggest, like,
their two families are huge. Well, I mean, Sophia's shrunk since she murdered most of the Falcones.
I was like, wait,
she just has like the henchmen.
So I'm just like, I don't know how exactly that is going to work. And I forget, it's quite a few gangs that Oz has behind him now. So that's a lot of territory as well too. But I'm curious as to how Sophia and Sal are gonna navigate this one.
Yeah, because they're gonna be overpowered.
Yeah, who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for like
God,
Gigante Maroni versus Oz and this temporary gang?
If I had to pick a side, yeah, it would have to be the Gigante and Maronis, just only because of Sophia. That's it. I mean, they're all scumbags in their own rights, but this is a scumbag that I can sympathize with the most.
Okay.
I'm rooting for Vic to just get the fuck out of here. I really want him gone. Yeah. I know he's not going to be gone. Who knows how long we're going to have him, especially with like how the episode ended with Vic and Francis dancing in the living room, and we see that Sophia's there with a crowbar just ready to take them out. Like, I like that's what gives me pause. It's like, man, I want to root for Sophia, but also it's like my boy Vic, like that's my boy. You don't touch him.
But he's a killer.
He's a killer now. Yeah. So now he signed up for this shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just rooting for the show. Mm-hmm. I'm fascinated to see how this turns out. I know that Penguin's going to come out on top somehow. Mm. I just wonder what the sacrifice will be. I think he's either going to lose Vic or lose his mom. I think most likely his mom, because she's already going with the dementia.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of how he loses one of them. Because if he loses his mom because of somebody else just wiping her out and not him, that's gonna break him, and that will make him like the most hardened person that he's ever been so far. But if he loses Vic, I feel like he also would feel some sort of pain that would harden him, because he does have like some sort of care for him, but I think he's still mostly using him.
Yeah,
I think it ends with the mom just being gone.
I feel like if it does have another season, Vic is gonna die. If it doesn't have another season, then his mom would be the one to die. Yeah, because I feel like if Vic dies, I don't know. I feel like as gone as Frances is for the most part, I feel like she's also kind of bonding with Vic, because like he has his moments where he's just a sweet boy. He's taking care of her, scrambling eggs and stuff like that. And you see her tapping him on the cheek, like, oh, he's such a good boy. And then she's like, Oz, you ain't shit. And then, like, so like, and then them dancing in that last scene together too. I feel like if anything happens to him, yes, it's gonna upset Oz. It may even upset his mom, and she's gonna be like, you better tear them up, Oz, for Vic or something. So that's why I'm just like, if it's just Vic that dies, I feel like his mom being there will also continue to drive Oz if there is a season 2. But if there isn't going to be anything else, I feel like they can really just end it with like Penguin, like villain, like really villain is for the future to come or whatever, but like no new season, it's just like
potentially maybe as the main villain for Batman 2,
like a movie. Yeah. that could be. Yes, there we go.
I think it's going that way, because my other concern is, what if it's Sophia that dies? I think
she's gonna die anyway.
You think so?
Or do you think
they've been very relentless in killing off significant characters? I'm not like a comic book reader specifically for like Batman. I don't know my shit about Batman, but I know that there's been significant characters killed off, like just Sophia's dad. He's like a significant character in the comics and in cartoons and shit, and he just gets popped like at the midpoint in the Batman movie. And in this show they've been killing off significant like Falcone members and such, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do finish off Sophia as well by this season.
Yeah,
I just hope that they fucking don't, because she's too fucking amazing of a character.
I think
I don't want her to go.
I think that she will die at the end of the season, only because now I'm remembering the little girl. She's a Falcone. She could pick that up later, when she's older, knowing what Sophia did to the family and
killed her mom,
like
with the gas.
Yeah, so it's just
that was on my mind too. I'm curious if they'll actually set that up, though. There would have to be a huge time skip, obviously.
Yeah, obviously there would be, but yeah, there's still someone out there, so it's like it'll still come back. The Falcones will still come back, because Sophia taking her mom's like name and like doing this new gang and like we're the Gigantes now or whatever. I'm just like, I'm sorry, hon, but it's the Falcones. Like it's that or nothing. So I feel like she's she ain't gonna be here for long.
I really hope not. I hope you're wrong, but I feel like the likelihood is she does end up dying.
Yeah, I feel like that it's gonna end that way. I don't want it to, but
Yeah.
I think that's where that's gonna go for her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because again, you're not gonna kill off the penguin. It's the penguin. He has his own show too. So
Yeah, it's not the Sophia, the Gigante, it's the Falcon.
I will watch that shit. I mean, we kind of watched it already. Yeah. Damn, what a great show this turned out to be. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think I was going to love it this much.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm definitely looking forward. We have 2 more episodes?
Just 2 more episodes left, 7 and 8.
Yeah, so, I mean, we won't rate this episode 6. We are going to wait to rate the series as a whole when we do our review on episode 8. So we'll do episode 7 and then we'll do episode 8 review now that we are all caught up.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know what we think of the series as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited and I'm anxious and I don't want the show to end, but here we are. So yeah, only 2 episodes left. We're going to be discussing those. I'm just not ready emotionally. But I don't know. What did you guys think of this show? Like, what did you think of episode 6? Was this a good one? Another banger? Did you think it was boring? You think there was too much dancing with old Francis?
Damn. She got me all that.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, guys. And if you like this episode, make sure to give us a like, subscribe, notification bell. Share this video with your friends, your mom, your auntie, your favorite sex worker, your favorite, gang member, your mob boss, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.